Hey guys, how's it going? It's Dustin with Comicradery. Thanks for joining us tonight. We've got a couple cool guests and possibly some guest hosts, so we'll see how that goes. My buddy Kevin is actually not here at the moment. He's off doing some nuclear fusion shenanigans or some sort of equally important thing that he's got going on. But we are brought to you tonight by Goon Tunes. You guys got to check out Frank Forty's Goon Tunes, man. Funniest things out right now. I mean, you know, like short clips, short animations. They're just really, really funny, real nitty gritty, cool stuff. You guys got to check them out when you get the opportunity. And they are at the Goon Tunes website. So anyway, we've got Darren Muncie here with us tonight, and he's going to be talking to us about his new book. What's the title for that new book, Mr. Muncie?
It is called The Rogue.
The Rogue. Badass, man. Well, thanks for being with us tonight. I'm super glad you're here.
Of course.
You know, we're really excited to have you guys on the road show with us, and this being your first stop. That's always awesome. And we've got William Pace. William Pace is a good buddy of ours. He's actually got a stop that I'm sure you'll be on here before long.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big fan of Frank Forty. You know, I'm a big fan of Frank Forty. Speaking of that cool guy, he's actually doing a cover for Greed coming up, so we're really excited about that. Now we're off of Frank for a few minutes and his amazing Goon Tunes. Let's get into the Rogue. So as we were talking a little bit earlier behind the scenes, you know, what caused you to get into comic books, man?
A myriad of things. It was definitely whenever my whole the way I saw comics changed. Once, because I used to be into a lot of like superhero genre comics, and back then I didn't know that comics could expand upon that. I always had this. I was always set on it being like for superheroes and stuff as such. It wasn't until my buddy and I were talking about The Walking Dead, because I was really into the show. One of my best friends, Barry, he had told me that it was based off of a graphic novel series, and once I started reading that, it answered a question for me, because around the same time I was writing The Journey of Dadius, and I realized that I could actually turn it into a comic book, and that's where that went.
Awesome, man. Awesome. That's really exciting. So can you tell us a little bit about it without giving away too much, you know, because it's exciting. This concept, that image I just showed, I mean, check that out. If that doesn't inspire you to want to read something, I'm in, man. I'm sold already. So why don't you give us a little bit of background on this really cool story you got going
on? The story as a whole is going to be showing, it's going to be showing Reese going through a bit of a, well, going rogue style type thing.
Okay, all right.
He's been through a lot. He's going through a lot, and that's where we see him in issue 1. Is we're going to see the very first spot where he, man, I lost my words. This is where he basically hits his breaking point, and this is what's going to jumpstart a lot of the events that I have planned.
For sure. So it's kind of like rock bottom. He's got nowhere else to go, so he's going to move forward.
Exactly.
Gotcha. So am I right in assuming he's not like a hero type of character?
Yeah, he's one of those people that's he likes to please everybody, but at the same time, the main things that are important to him are the ones in his circle, which is, you know, like his best friend Corbin and his wife. You know, you don't mess with his family, and that's one of the main things that's one of the main things that's got him a little anxious at the beginning of this issue. Is there's some family matters that I'm not going to spoil here, but he's
right on.
There are some family matters that have him a little stressed out, but also he can't necessarily provide food, and you know, he can't provide for his family, so to speak. So
there you go. Yeah, man. You know, and I think that would drive anybody to the edge, right? If you couldn't afford food and shelter for your loved ones, I mean, you go crazy just trying, you know, like almost like you're angry with yourself for not being able to do that, So I could definitely understand wanting to go rogue, go a little bananas when things are going on like that. So now I got to ask, because I know it's on everybody's mind. That name Corbin, it didn't have to come from Corbin Dallas, did it?
No.
Okay.
No, that name, I want to say it was random, but technically it wasn't. There's a little bit of like a personal backstory to that specific name. There's a lot of people that I knew that pieces of their name are going to be in it. Like, for instance, in one of my brothers, his middle name is in there for one of the characters that you only see for like a split second.
Well, that's really cool though, right? Because it adds a personal touch to your story. Like it invests you even further in what you've got going on. And that's an awesome thing to do, man, because as writers, we have to find a way to put ourselves in there. Right, absolutely. To bring it to life in our own personal fashion. Not just the story, but it is as we show it to our family and we show it to our friends, and then we show it to our fans, our readers. We have to have a way to connect on a personal level with our own products, because I think it's really easy to move away from your product. And absolutely. So multipass. So it's just really easy to tell a guy that's vested and a guy that's not connected to his story, or a girl that's not connected to their story. You know what I'm saying? It makes it it's very telling almost. So as you're writing this, do you have like plans for it? Is it a multi-issue series that you've got coming out? Let me get some intel on that.
Oh yeah, I already have. I have ideas. Like, I already made a roadmap for beginning, middle, and end.
Right.
There's like 5 very long chapters I have on my roadmap, assuming it stays. Obviously, as I progress, things will change. But right now, it's looking at 200 issues.
That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah.
And you guys are going to be on Kickstarter, correct? That's how that's going?
Not issue 1, because I already tried doing it on Indiegogo, but issue 2 definitely will, and I'm hoping to get that out by June, hopefully. June or July.
So will you be adding a copy of issue 1 to the Kickstarter for book 2? Very cool. So you'll have a tier, like a catch-up tier?
Oh, definitely.
Awesome. And is it digital? Are we going physical? How are you?
I always, just for me personally, I have to have physical copies of everything. So definitely, I will have some limited edition covers that will be, quite sparse, very little. But yeah, it's definitely going to be releasing digitally on Comixology, or if you buy it through me, you get a PDF form. And then if you get it physically, you can go through me. It will be on physical copies.
Awesome. So if there was a story that you could relate this to people, because you have to understand, as we go through this, we have a lot of people from all different walks of life that pay attention to what's going on in comic books and movies and stuff now. So what would you relate it to? Like, if there was a story that you could relate this to, what would be the closest, you think?
Probably Sons of Anarchy. That's been one of the ones that has been a main inspiration to me. That Mayans MC, maybe The Shield. I've only seen bits and pieces of that, and Justified.
Okay, very cool. So you've got like that bad boy main character type of mentality going on, and you've definitely got the family members he's looking out for and stuff. Now, this is modern time, I take it?
It's going to be set, I say present time, but I mean more or less present time.
Very cool, very cool. So now, are there, is there a main protagonist you guys are bringing in, like a cool bad guy, or like how do you guys lay that out?
Antagonist, yeah, antagonist. Not off the bat, no.
Okay.
I mean, in this issue, there is, technically there's multiple that are just almost just very not nice people.
For sure. Well, and I asked, this was going to be book 2. So we're building up, and we're building our backstory. We're figuring out what's going on with these different characters. Here's a good one from Billy Storm.
Besides SOA, what are your other inspirations? Have you used any of your own life experience to help mold the series? Yes, Billy. That's my brother, by the way.
I assumed I wasn't gonna like jump to conclusions, but I assumed. So welcome,
Yeah.
brother. Welcome to the show. And I'm sure you know your brother better than anybody, so I'm sure he could, tie in a little bit of that answer for you.
Oh yeah. So as far as like personal inspirations and stuff are things that I've pulled from it. I've been through financial struggle, sure, who hasn't nowadays?
Right.
But one of my parents had actually gone through a lot of they went through this addiction. They went through struggles with addiction,
For sure.
and I've seen a lot of outlaw type things happen. I've heard some horrible stories to some things that have happened to him, to people that he's known. I've heard just some really sad things, and that's actually the inspiration for a lot of different storylines. So
well, that's very important, like I mentioned earlier, because you're tying in your life itself, and that's a very intriguing thing to do. Like, the cookie cutter stories that we don't involve ourselves in, people see right through them. It's almost like a pane of glass that's just been cleaned. It's cool. I can see from this part, and I already know the end. You know what I mean? He's not putting any soul into this, so I already know. But it's exciting to see that you're vested, and you can see your energy. You can feel your energy. You can see the support from your family already. They're behind you 100%. And that's a very powerful thing. To know that you're not alone.
Oh, it is. It really is.
I mean, so you've got a good background with people. You've got some really cool concepts. Now, you've obviously got a thing for cars. This image alone, it says so much about, it is very blatant that you were letting people know that that's what particular car we were looking at. You know what I mean? So, tell me a little bit about that. So you're definitely a car guy.
Oh, definitely. So, I guess technically this isn't something that's going to be, it's not necessarily going to be something that's spoiling anything, because you'll eventually figure it out. But classic cars were something that I wanted to have from the get-go. In fact, one of my original, it was like my original first draft. It was where it was pretty much just going to be a gang that just drove fast cars, kind of like for a racing game, but it wasn't.
Sure.
This was a long time ago. But so taking the concept,
like Cruisin' USA. Oh well,
yeah, similar to that.
Throwing out some old games, Cruisin' World. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I used to play that like crazy.
Right.
Heck, me and my brother did on the N64, I think.
Yeah, there you go. That's what's up.
So, but anyhow. So, like, Sons of Anarchy, it's a MC, it's a motorcycle club.
Right.
I was going to have this one centered around cars, classic cars.
For sure.
Now, obviously, the one you see on there isn't a classic car, but still nice.
Absolutely.
You'll eventually see, it took me a while to figure out what car Reese was going to drive, and I'm not going to spoil it here, but there will be a point that you'll see Reese's classic car, and you'll be like,
they're very important. Cars are integral parts of the story. That's really interesting, because I don't know anybody that didn't dig like the original Fast and Furious. The original couple of movies were just awesome, right? So I'm really excited to see what you do with the cars. I'm excited to see the characters develop. Do you have any books now that you're reading?
That I'm personally reading?
Yeah.
I am still about halfway through with the Walking Dead series. I just finished, as a matter of fact, I just started the Negan arc that they went through. I heard it was much better than the way they did it on the show.
Absolutely.
Won't comment on that. But where did it go? Yeah, there it is. I have been reading this. I've got, I think there's a total of 6 stories in this. It's OMG, a horror anthology.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I kind of stopped reading it after the first 3 stories. They were very intriguing, but I wanted more of those stories rather than another story.
Right on. I got you. Like
But yeah.
a mini story wasn't it, man. You needed something more fleshed out.
Yeah, I wanted to keep going with that
For
story,
sure.
man. It
And
was like that was good.
That's how a
Yeah,
good story should be, you know. And it's an awesome thing when people come to you like that and they really want to get behind what you're selling. You know, what's good about this story. Now, tell me about the interior art, man. Who's doing that?
Oh, for the Rogue?
Yeah.
Okay, Rafael Dantes. He is phenomenal. That's just the only way to put it. He's the one, as a matter of fact, the picture that you pulled up there,
right?
He did the art and coloring for that, and he did the line art for all of the interior pages. In fact, the only thing that he did not do was two things that he didn't do was the logo and the Rogue logo, and then there's a Dumb Rabbit variant for issue 1.
Awesome.
And that was done by Eduardo Melendez, I believe.
Gotcha. Okay. So have you worked with these guys before, or is this new to your team?
This is very new for me. The only person I've worked with.
Book 1. So this is a whole
different
group. So they're not the guys that did book 1. This is a different group of individuals. Okay.
Yeah, the Journey of Dadius was solely done by. I did concept art for it, but everything that you see that's finalized was done by Belindor. That's his pen name.
Gotcha.
And yeah, he didn't have anything to do with this in specific. Okay. We're working with him for issue 2 of Dadius.
Gotcha. Very cool. So we've got book 2 coming out. We've got a killer art team. Now he did all the colors and stuff for his work, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very, very cool. And where's he located out of? Is he in America?
I believe he's in Brazil.
That's awesome. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So do you have a release time frame that you're looking for to start laying this out, or
for book 2's actual release, I can finally say it for everybody to hear. April 21st. That is when it's going to be releasing.
Killer stuff, man. Now, if you had something you wanted people desperately to know about your book that had never heard of the Rogue story before, okay? What would you want it to be? What would that one line be about your book that is so epic? Like, as a writer, you've got one in your heart. I know you do, because I've got my own. So what is that line that you really powerful piece that you want people to know about this amazing story you're putting out?
Oh shit! You had to put me on the spot like that.
Well, that's the game. What's up?
Oh wow, that's if I could summarize it all in one sentence.
Did it?
God, that is a hard one. Things aren't always what you seem. No, that sounds very cliche. Shit.
All right, so think about it for 5 seconds, then I'm going to tell you what mine is, okay?
Okay.
There are 2 things in this world that are not finite. That is death and time.
That's good. That's really good.
That's what I always want people to realize when they pick up the listener, they pick up Greed, they have an idea of what a mystery can pull you in and drag you into. And I'm excited about the Rogue because I feel like it's almost like that action story, the car action, and there's going to be big gunfights, there's going to be big explosions, you know what I mean? And that's exciting to me, the concept of it, and not to sound like all macho masculine and whatnot about it, but that's fun, dude. Big cars, big engines, and big combat. It's a lot of cool concepts with it. And the fact, like I said, that your family's behind it, that draws me in, because they're there for you, man. It's important.
I think I finally got one. My brother, he came in with the swing on this one.
There you go.
You can only be pushed so far. Every man has his limits.
That's absolutely correct. And I love that, man. You need to hashtag that. Every time you go to a page or you do something cool, man, make sure people hear that, because that one line, is so powerful. It's everything you got in one line, man. It's one line. And you've got all these folks that are like, well, what is this about? The limits of a man. You know what I mean? How far can you push this dude? And that's cool because we've all seen that person be pushed, right? We've seen the really cool, the really nice guy with a really good head on his shoulders get pushed too far. You know, what happens when he gets pushed too far? Well, it's generally not good for the guy that pushed him too far. You know what I mean?
Oh no, they'll definitely see that in issue 1.
You know, we're really excited to see how it pans out. Super excited to have you here with us. You know, being on the road show with Inked is such a cool experience because you get to meet so many people. Like, you really get to put on different shows with different types of people. Like earlier, we mentioned William Pace. I'm sure you'll be on his show. Pops Van Dance in here. You'll be on Pops' show. You know, there's all kinds of really, really cool people involved in this that make all these wheels turn, you know, and get people where they need to be at. And, you know, speaking of Kickstarters, though, before I forget, I know you got some cool add-ons you're going to be bringing, right? Some really dope add-ons are coming in there, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, for the people that did support on the Indiegogo alone already, you know, this is obviously for the future. I got way more for
sure.
But I don't want to spoil that here just yet. But this will give you at least a little bit of insight into what I've already been doing, so you know what to expect. So whenever I did it for the top Patreons, top supporters, they were able to get crowdfunded exclusive cover that is only allowed for them unless you pretty much pay the exact amount that they did to get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so they get an exclusive variant. They get 2 copies of issue 1 standard edition, 1 signed, 1 unsigned. That way you can have them framed or whatever. So you can actually have one to just read and enjoy. And then digital copy and stickers and a poster. And the poster is also exclusive to those who support it.
Now, when you say poster, is it like old school poster, or is it like a lithograph?
Obviously this isn't the one, but it's like this.
Awesome. So it's like an old school poster. That's super cool, man. I dig that. That's awesome. So you can frame that bad boy, throw it on the wall. Now that symbol on there, is that from you know, the story?
Oh yes. Obviously you will see it on page 2 because it's, you know, on the subtitle page. Man, that reflection is a nightmare. But eventually
cool.
Do what?
I said it's super cool, man. That's dope.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Jeremy Parker did a fantastic work. He did fantastic work on the logo. Jeremy, if you're watching, you're awesome. Anyways, they won't be using that logo on the actual covers for quite some time, not until the actual crew is formed.
For sure.
And that is when I really want to show it off and have some fun with it.
Right.
But
so
it is
your car club. That's what the logo for the car club is.
Yes. The club itself is called the Rogue.
That's awesome, man. So, like, now, do you have, since we've flushed out that you have some interest in cars, do you have a car you're working on right now?
If I had the money, oh man, my dream car until Fast and Furious kind of drove it into the ground because of how often they used it and their newer stuff, but 69 or 70s Dodge Charger. That is my car, man. That is my car. And eventually one of these days I'm going to have it.
Oh yeah, for sure. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. So now when you went, now you're, like you mentioned, you're going to Kickstarter for the book too, right? So now, having used Indiegogo before, the platform is different. What made you go from Indiegogo to Kickstarter with your platform?
Since I was very new to comics and crowdfunding in general, I was trying to look at the pros and cons, like what's Indiegogo, what's Kickstarter, what's Indiegogo, Kickstarter. And I actually did initially launch on Kickstarter. And then me being scatterbrained and just didn't want to do it right then and there, I canceled it. And then I started reading up more on it. I was like, I'll just do Indiegogo.
For sure.
The deciding factor was I didn't know how many people were actually going to donate to it. So I was like,
that, for sure.
So I was like, that one actually lets you keep the funds so that I can continue to progress.
Absolutely.
So that was more or less what it was for
So, do
me.
you have any plans for guest artists or live shows are coming back, man? Have you seen me lately in your area?
Actually, yeah, I've seen maybe not in my area, but I have seen you you pop up every now and then whenever Kevin put it in like Comic Related Madness's
Right.
page and stuff. But no, that'd be awesome to do a live show. But as far as crap, what was the first thing you asked during that question? You said something else, and then live.
Oh, like I don't even remember now. I was so vested in what you were saying about live shows. I was.
Damn it.
Guest artists. Do you have any?
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
For guest artists to show up and stuff. Maybe a real hot cameo of somebody. You know what I mean? Comes in and does a fire cover for you.
Yeah, that's one thing I was looking around for. I know in the future I definitely want to get Jeremy Parker to do, since he did the logo, it's only right that he do at least
Absolutely,
one whole cover.
I'm a in-house guy, man. I totally get that. If you've got a team, man, do your team right, and your team will be there with you the whole way.
Oh, hell yeah. That and his work is just phenomenal. So
apparently it's pretty baller.
Yeah. Yeah, and he does commissions too. So if anyone watching, maybe shoot him a message if you have something you want him to do.
That's a fun topic to bring up. Are you going to be doing any blank cover commissions for your Kickstarter?
For issue 2. Yeah, I could definitely see it. If there's a demand for it, I will please. That and
your brother wants to know if he can come hang out at live shows.
Do you have any plans for public events like Comic-Cons, or can I come? I mean, of course, Billy. You're my co-man. You help me with everything.
That's that wingman, man. That's that brotherly love.
Heck yeah, exactly, wingman. That was the word I was looking for.
Well, that's also the guy that has to go get drinks and food and stuff. You know what I mean? So, if you haven't,
whenever I just need to get away for a minute,
right? Absolutely. If you haven't worked cons, they're a lot of fun. They're so much fun to do. Like I mentioned it because we've got one coming up in Nashville next month, which is ICCC, which I've never done. I've done MegaCon, I've done Comic-Con, but this is new for me, so I'm excited. And it's the first con that has been here since COVID hit, so I'm really excited to get involved in that. But I would love to see more and more people opening up and getting to take their indie books to conventions and stuff in the local area. That's really cool and really powerful for you. You know what I mean? Just the exposure alone, man. Take a few books, take some posters, schmooze a little bit, take some hands. You know what I mean? It's a good time.
But to answer his question, we are trying to. I'm trying to go into. I mean, last year we went to San Angelo Comic-Con, but obviously in the heat of a pandemic, it didn't exactly go very well.
Right.
But we are going to attempt to make a second appearance there, hopefully at the end of this year, and hopefully we can finally make it to Perma Basin Con next year. I know they already had it for this year.
For sure. Well, I think we'll start seeing more and more things open up as we go forward, and the states are opening up a little bit more here and there. We'll start seeing small cons pop up, and small cons, even like going to a show or a store and doing a signing at a store, just putting your name out there a little bit and getting seen more. So let me ask you this. Does brother live close enough to come and help you with fulfillment? Because let me tell you, it's definitely an exciting experience. That first time the books come in, they're in your hand, and you want to have somebody to share it with. Mine was my wife, and it was an amazing thing when you first get those physical copies in your hands. So if you had to ask any comic creator in this business a question, what would it be and to whom?
Bringing up The Walking Dead again, probably Robert Kirkman. Asking, if I had to ask him a question, I would probably ask, what is the best way to approach multiple conflicts at the same time in a series? because there's ways that he's juggled them so well that it flowed in a writing sense. It flowed so well that it was just like it was perfect.
Oh man,
At
he's
least to me.
phenomenal, man. There's no beating around the bush with the man's talent.
No.
You know, there's really not. There are a few people that have stuck out with that particular topic in my head. Neil Gaiman being one of them as well. If you get the opportunity to read anything by him, amazing stuff. So, that being said, guys, we have to. We're going to go and pop on a video from one of our sponsors, from Alpha Dogs. They actually just went live today on Kickstarter. So we're going to check this video out real quick. I know you guys will dig it. It's a lot of fun. Give me just 1 second. We'll pop that up for you guys. Normally, like I said, there's normally 2 people at the controls of this thing. So give me 1 second. All right, here we go. Man, what a cool video! Like,
That was really cool.
I'm excited to see what those guys at Inked put together for the Rogue. There's a lot of cool stuff to be said about Alpha Dogs. I know that John is doing a show with Pops Van Zant this evening as a little, like a starter party, which is pretty cool. Really cool idea, guys. Animals with the mental capacities of human beings is a really cool concept. We've seen that very few times in the past in comic books. And you've also got he reminds me of Crypto, right? From Superman, where he's just not bulletproof, but like a Wolverine version of Crypto that could just regenerate damage done to him. And apparently there's some folks that know about his abilities that, want to study him and figure out how he got these abilities. I'm really excited to see how that goes. I know it's doing fairly well already for a book that just started today. So we're excited about that. It's got some beautiful artwork in it. And Darren, man, this has been such a cool experience because, like I said, the concepts, the heart you're bringing into the book, the heart your family is bringing into, to support you. I love that, man. It's a very, very powerful thing. We really appreciate you being on today.
Of course.
If there's anything you could leave with, man, hit us with the hashtags, hit us with the websites. Where can we find you?
If you want to pre-order The Rogue or purchase my previous book called The Journey of Dadius, just go to demoninc.com, and down there you can hit email me or email, and then from there just type in what exactly you want, what kind of cover you want, and just let me know, and we'll get it out to you.
We definitely have a bunch of people that I'm sure will be into that. The storyline, like I said, seems mad fun. There's a lot going on with it. The intrigue is there, right? So as soon as we get into it, I'm hoping, you know, and I'm sure it will. I'm sure it'll meet my expectations because I'm mad excited about it. You know, I'll be backing it for sure. And once again, thank you, Darren. We're going to go into the listener for a little bit. We've got some other sponsors we'll talk about, and I think we have a guest or two popping in. So with that, man, thanks so much, Darren, for hanging out.
No problem.
You know,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, you're always welcome to come hang out with us, dude. Thank you again.
Hell yeah.
You know, hey, man, and don't forget, somebody's always listening, brother.
Of course.
All right, guys, that was Darren Muncie, super cool guy, and the Rogue. How cool is that concept? You know, I mean, car clubs and gun battles, and you know, who knows what else we'll see in this really, really cool concept. And that goes to Kickstarter here before long. And Facebook user says, "Hey, Darren." Hey, Facebook user. So as we move forward talking about Darren's projects and what Darren's got going on, Alpha Dogs, right? Holy cow, how cool was that video? I mean, you've got this super powered dog that is literally going toe to toe with human beings, getting shot, getting beat up, getting chucked off cliffs. At least that's what I hear from John. So, I mean, wow, right? Like legitimately crazy, crazy stuff for a dog to go through. Now, we've also talked about the fact that we've got a couple other things going on right now. We talked about Goon Tunes. Amazing stuff. Super funny, super raw stuff from Frank 40. Frank 40 is actually going to be doing a cover for Greed here shortly. Really, really excited to see the cover he pulls out. We've also got Rich Parada that's doing a cover for Greed. Phil Leon, who may be on here in a few minutes. We'll see Phil when he comes on. We've also got the fact that we've got David Acampo doing covers for Greed now, who's also doing interior colors for Greed, which are absolutely stunning, stunning colors. And then Greed is going live, guys, April 23rd. We're going to do a soft launch on the 2nd. Really excited to be pulling that out. You know, the listener did so well that, you know, expanding the universe has been something I had planned to do anyway. So now to have two books that are going to be running back to back almost, literally like leapfrogging off of each other, you know, it's such an exciting experience. And we've also got another really cool book that we're going to talk about here shortly. But let's go into Greed a little bit more. So Greed is about a kid that's 10 years old in the same world of the listener, you know, which is a dark, gritty, gnarly world anyway, but it's in modern time. So this kid wakes up one night to find something running around in his bedroom, and we introduce him to his monster under the bed, which is a really fun concept. You know, I love the back and forth, the buddy, you know, the buddy deal between two different characters, especially one that thinks he's so much smarter than the other one, and one that's the legitimately kind person, and the other one's just a jackass. You know what I mean? So they go back and forth off each other really, really well. We've got Manny Soto, guys, doing interior artwork. And actually, let me bring up some of it because it's absolutely beautiful stuff that Manny's doing for us right now. So I can show you guys some promo work real quick from Greed. This was David and Manny's first attempt at the character Cade. What a cool concept, right? I mean, he's so much fun. Those guys hit it off like peanut butter and jelly, dude. Like, it really came out awesome. Here are some early concepts for the two characters, Greed, Cade and Oz. Oz being a 10-year-old kid that's just a normal suburban youth. And they've evolved so much, you know, as we've been working on this project. And then we get into, you know, some other cool concepts, ideas for them. And this is what we came in as our final concepts between the team. Really awesome stuff. This will be cover A, and this will be done by Manny and a buddy of his that are going to be awesome. And I'm not going to drop names on the buddy, so it's going to be a lot of fun and a surprise for you guys that are fans of Mojo. So I'm really stoked that you guys will get to see some cool stuff. We've also got another sponsor, guys, that will pop in here right quick. Man, and you guys are going to love this one, right? I mean, Western and vampires. I mean, how cool is that? So let's get this one out real quick. Man, you know, it's Blood and Bullets, guys. I mean, how exciting is this concept? I mean, Just wow. So here's the overlay for Blood and Bullets, guys. Really, really cool. You know, I mean, Monty Moore, man. What more do you ask for? Beautiful art, great story, you know, a great guy. So we're really excited that, you know, he's sponsoring us for the rest of this video. Really, really cool stuff. Beautiful art, guys. Beautiful art. That's coming up in April. You know, make sure you get on that Kickstarter. I'm sold on that one already, right? So now going back into the listener and talking about, you know, the story and the future of the book itself, you know, we talked about Greed a little bit. Greed's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be huge in its own right. And with the listener having just come off its Kickstarter and funded wonderfully and amazingly, we couldn't be happier. We're super excited. We're thankful to everybody that sponsored it and all the guys from, you know, Inked that pushed it. And we've had a great time with it. Addie's adventures are going to continue in book 3. So book 3 beginnings, you'll get backstory to the listener, what's going on with him, Addie, how he is going to make it through these crazy shenanigans that are going on. Where is Sonny? What's Sonny got going on? You know, there are all these questions that we're going to answer. You know, we answered a little bit at the end of When Winds Weep. With the Kickstarter ending, you know, all the funds will be coming in within the next week, week and a half. And then, you know, it's off to print, off to Artist Express. Those guys are going to ship it back to me. And then you guys will be getting all your books in April. You know, I'm really excited that it'll be that fast. The process is really quick with us because the books are already done. You know, right now we're already working on book 3. We've laid down all the pages. There's only like 10 pages left to do, you know, so that's an exciting thing as well. Everybody will be getting their awesome soap. I can't wait to show you guys what we're going to do for the add-on for Greed. It'll be specifically to Greed. It won't be the same type of soap you guys are getting for the listener, so that's exciting, right? And then speaking of stuff going on in the world of the listener, we're working on Road to Sin right now. And Road to Sin, guys, is such a huge undertaking because we've got both comics going on and a tabletop game. The tabletop game is massive. I mean, it's massive. A bunch of the stories are done, but it's still like how we're putting the figures together, how the maps are coming together. We've got a couple maps that are done. We're really excited. We've shown one of them off on the listener podcast already, and it's been a lot of fun. The beta testing for the game has been great. The reception's been great, but there's still a lot to do. You know, there's so much to do with a tabletop game versus doing a comic book, which is a different animal all in itself. So back to the listener, David Acampo is killing the interiors, or not David Acampo, sorry. Eric Viola is killing the interiors for the listener beginnings. So we've got covers coming out from him. We've got covers coming out from Adam Fields. We've got a cover coming out from David Acampo. And we've got Gabriella's cover coming out for that one, as well as Marissa Pope's cover coming out for the listener beginnings. Now, with all of that going on, guys, I mean, how could we possibly top that? Being able to bring it to you guys in a manner that you can get it and not have to wait months on end was one of the biggest things that we possibly could do. So just as book 1 and book 2 were, book 3 will be done before the Kickstarter. So you guys can be assured you'll get your product as soon as we can possibly get it. And Addie's adventures are going to continue. We're having a lot of fun putting this stuff together. His interactions with all our other characters, the noble spirits. Now you guys are actually getting to see more of the noble spirits. And in beginnings, you'll get to see the very first listener, where he came from, how it began, you know, who is Adesaya? You know, that's a real big deal. We show Adesaya in When Winds Weep. And when you guys get it, I know it's going to blow you away. It's just an awesome project, incredible folks working on it. And then, you know, we've got Greed on the back of this awesomely, you know, well-sold book and, you know, critically acclaimed through Kickstarter, through Kick Tracks, through reviews, through podcasters. Amazing people have given us awesome credit for this book. So how do we get to it, right? What do we bring next? We bring, you know, Oz, we bring Cade, and we bring their adventures with demons and gods and crazy lesbian snipers and all kinds of other wild things. You know what I mean? Because we bring Lee back from the listener. We bring her over to, you know, Greed for a short period in time for a story arc, and her girlfriend is now dead. So that's a big deal, you know, and the backstory of that will be told in the listener. So, you know, it's a back and forth. You guys don't have to read both books to get the story, but it helps, you know, because how did she die? Why is she haunting Lee now? You know, what has tied her to her? How can she see her if she's not the listener? So many questions, you know, so many answers to be had in the other series, you know. So we're jumping back and forth to give these incredible stories that take up so much more space than just one comic book can handle, you know. Now, how do they interact with Greed and Cade, you know, or in Greed with Cade, you know? Cade Nas dealing with Lee, and who is a trained assassin by the listener. How is she going to react to this monster running around with a 10-year-old boy? What do we expect from that? You know, I mean, I don't know. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see the Serpent Tree. I'm excited to see Lilith. I'm excited to see, you know, Kukulain. I'm excited to see all these awesome, awesome characters. And one thing I'm really excited about that you guys are going to be getting shortly if you ordered it from the Kickstarter is Guy's Journal, guys. Gabriella has put out so much work into this book. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. She's really put, you know, brush to pad, brush to paper, and it's turned out beautifully. I couldn't have asked for a better product, guys. That's 60 pages. Not only are you getting the listener When Winds Weep, but you're getting a 60-page backstory bio book at the same time. And you're only going to be able to get it there. I mean, we only printed 30 of them. So that's really exciting for the people that ordered it. We may do a second printing at some point later. I mean, but who knows, right? As long as we're listening and you guys are telling us that was what you want, we'll probably do it, because I'm excited to get that to people because it turned out beautifully. Like, her work is absolutely stunning. Now we've also got, with that being said, we've also got some other cool stuff going on with, like I mentioned earlier, Frank 40 doing a cover. I mean, the guy's a monster. I mean, he's worked with heavy metal. He's worked with Bob's Burgers. I mean, movies out the wazoo. I mean, how exciting is that? To be able to bring such cool talent to you guys has been overwhelming to me. I remember when I put the team together for the listener, it was literally like, I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, how do I get people that can properly portray my vision to you guys and the best product I could possibly give you? And it became this like hunt for talent, you know, hunt to give you guys the best possible book I could give you, you know. And when we got Eric Viola, it was just like, wow, you know, the guy could like look into my head and pull out images of what I thought you guys should see. I mean, if you haven't seen any of the listener stuff, I'll go ahead and pop up some of it so you guys can see it. Beautiful, beautiful stuff, man. Eric paints stuff like nobody's business, and it's phenomenal to see his stuff. You know, I'll show you one of the pages now. So this is page 1 of When Winds Weep, and it was such a phenomenal experience working with him, working with ES. Both those guys are coming back for beginnings, so we're really excited to be able to show you, you know, interior pages now. I mean, a few more now because the Kickstarter is over. Everybody's going to be getting their digital copies here before long. We can get into some cover art too. I mean, Marissa Pope killed these covers, guys. Like, killed these covers. I couldn't believe how awesome they were, you know. And then Gwen came behind and painted or you know, colored these beautiful painting covers for Marissa. I don't know why that's not loading. It's weird. Here's the exclusive for the Kickstarter, guys. We did 30 of these as well. That turned out beautiful too, right? Oh my gosh, what a piece, you know. Just a stunning book. Only available through the Kickstarter. This is a virgin variant. Really, really pretty stuff. And then we had like David Ocampo, man. Absolutely killed this cover as well. This was a Turok homage that we had him do. And he's doing the interior colors for Greed, and he's also doing covers for Greed. So really, really cool stuff. I love the fact that we followed Bart Sears on this one. I think it turned out really, really well. And then you've got Adam Fields' cover for When the Winds Weep. I know there's a bunch of people that were waiting for this one. Beautiful stuff, guys. Just absolutely beautiful covers. And that's, you know, it's such a large project, you know, and we're putting together, we've got like a team of like 16, 17 people right now, guys. And that's how amazingly well it's been going. Thank you so much. I mean, they really are. And what's going on? So it's such a pleasant experience, right? To be able to work with incredible people, and with 18 paid members of this team right now. I mean, it's just blows my mind. You know how we've come from like a group of two dudes, that had done interiors and were looking for other folks to work with us to a team of like 18 people. It's just phenomenal, and we're bringing on other people at the same time. There are numerous other people that we haven't even begun to like talk much about, like Becky Fuller. Becky Fuller's coming on, which is really cool as well. Gwen is bringing on Guile. Guile's an amazing artist. So we're going to see all these really talented folks on Greed, man, and on the Listener. So if you're fans of these guys, make sure you get on with it. Like I said, coming out in April, really exciting. There's so much to be seen. Let me see if I can find another really cool one for you guys. So we also did these really cool posters for the first time in the Listener. I hadn't done posters before, so this was a really cool idea. When I was approached about promo art by Acampo, I had no idea what I was going to do. And he did these beautiful posters for us, like absolutely stunning posters. And I couldn't have been happier, and that would be Two Noble Spirits. Those are the wins over the tombstone, which is really, really cool. And he also did this one of Addie and Sonny, which I love this piece, guys. I as soon as we get our lithographs printed, I'll definitely be framing this one myself and keeping a copy, because it's such an active pose, right? What a cool piece. Conceptually, I came up with that one. I had a lot of fun with it, and I can drop some more images that you guys may not have seen. This is a really powerful piece. It has to do with just an epic, almost like situation that we talk about in our day-to-day lives that we don't even think about. But that's a good one. We've tried to show as much as we can of the interior art. This was a really cool scene with Addie and Guy and the Winds. We had a lot of fun with that one. There's just a lot to show you guys. Like there's the inked variant, which is the Spiritual Realm variant, which is stunning stuff. I mean, absolutely beautiful. We've all put everything we have into the Listener. Everybody. The posters are 11 by 17, so they are lithographs. They're 11 by 17 lithographs, and they come with your awesome white border and whatnot. And, it's like 2 of 30 and all that jazz. So there's a lot to be said about that. There's a lot to be said about the amount of talent, that we've got going in, coming off of book 1, then coming off of book 2 and springboarding so much of this talent right back into it. We wouldn't be able to do it without the support that you guys bring to us, because we're literally sitting at, we just paid off book 3 for the Listener. I mean, we're done, guys. We're going to, as soon as we go to Kickstarter, you guys are guaranteed to have your book again. There's no crazy wait times, no insanity like that. I brought on Phil Leon to help me as editor for Greed, and I couldn't be happier with our team for Greed. All those guys match up real well. They talk to each other. They get along. It's like a well-oiled machine, and we're on book 1. Can you imagine what book 3 is going to be like? That being said, book 3 with the Listener but with me and Eric on it, is smooth as a baby's bottom. Like, we're really killing it. Like I mentioned, we've only got like 10 more pages to lay out and we're done. And then it goes to ES and gets ES's beautiful letters on it, and that's another one done for you guys. Another awesome part to this bigger puzzle that is the story of the Listener. And we're introducing new characters and showing you guys new aspects of things. I started laying down words on the Death miniseries, and I'm excited for that. The 4 Horsemen are going to be a lot of fun. They've got their own backstories, And it's integral, in my opinion, that we have these characters that are fleshed out, right? We don't want to sit here and be like, oh, well, we've got, Joe Blow, da-da-da-da, and he's, important, but we only see him for a few minutes. I really don't like that. I don't like that kind of storytelling. So I'm going to make sure you guys get all your characters fleshed out. The Four Horsemen are very important neutral characters in our world. So I want to make sure that I give them as much screen time as I can for you guys, because they're very interesting. They all have incredible backstories, like War has no idea who he is. And I think that's a very integral thing. All he knows, he works for Lucifer, and that's it. He doesn't know his name, just that he's War. And names and religion and theologies and stuff, they give power. So he's actually, a weaker character because no one knows his name and he doesn't know it. But when he regains his name, he'll be a much more substantial character in the series. That being said, when he regains his name and quits being War, someone else will gain the mantle of War, because there always has to be four horsemen, So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see those guys throw down with the, the seven deadly sins. We're halfway through the China arc. Once we get to beginnings, we're halfway through the China mark with the listener. So in book 6, we're coming back to the U.S. Excited about that. You guys will get more and more backstory about the listener, find out about his wife, Tabitha, what she's got going on, what, his brethren have got going on while he's gone, and we'll learn more about the noble spirits. And I think the noble spirits are some of the most interesting things that have been done in comic books in a really long time. And, to bring in spirits and theologies and belief systems, it's been a blast. I think the most challenging thing has been keeping secrets from my own characters as well as you guys, because I could write around you guys, but it's like trying to keep it out of reach for other characters that I'm introducing has been a really interesting factor, because it's almost like above board and below board conversation. Mad fun though. Let's go ahead and we'll check out our next sponsor real quick, which is Nippon. Hold on, and I'll bring that up. What a cool word, right? Nippon or Nippon. You know what I mean? Cool stuff. Let me see if I've got the overlay for that. There's that. That is live now on Kickstarter. How I love the Shogun era, right? These guys are literally going at it. It's a almost not just a samurai story, but it's an evolution story of Japan itself and what it's becoming. And these characters are living through this time period and where it's going. That's really, really cool, guys. That is live on Kickstarter right now. I checked that out. Great guys, great team behind that one. Really fun concepts. Swing by and check out Nippon. We're grateful that they're part of our, our family here, and they're part of the road show. So, they've been on the road show. So check those guys out over at Nippon. Here's another one. Don't forget Alpha Dogs, guys. Beautiful stuff. Started today. Really excited about John's project. Like I said, they went live today. Then you got Goon Tunes, guys. Awesome stuff. I mean, Frank 40 is absolutely killing this stuff. And then let's not forget Rogue. What a fun guy to have on, right, guys? I mean, really, really cool cat. Glad he was around. We're super happy to be showing his stuff off. Darren is awesome guy. With that, I'll say a couple more things. Don't forget to check on Blood and Bullets. I'm really hyped about Blood and Bullets, guys. I mean, awesome team, awesome concepts. Vampires, cowboys, cowgirls. Oh my, right? How much fun. And man, look, check out the listener, guys. For real. Check out the listener if you haven't seen it. I love to talk to fans. I love to talk to people that have read it and enjoy it. Swing by, take a look at it. You know what I mean? We're off Kickstarter right now, but you can go to the listener Facebook page. You can go to www.thelistenercomics.com. Oh, look, it's Phil Leon.
Hey, what's up?
It is Phil. What is up, Phil?
What is going on?
Oh, man, we were just talking about some of the sponsors we've had this evening that have been really, really cool. Talking about books, talking about the listener. We just had, Darren Muncie on talking about his book, The Rogue, which was a really cool concept about a dude that's been pushed to his limit in a car club and, guns and just revenge and all kinds of insanity.
Oh
So,
yeah. He was over on the Monday Madness here not long ago.
For sure. Well, that all has to do with that whole road show.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. What are you getting into this evening? You doing anything fun? You coloring anything cool?
I am working on an alt cover for Naked Cannibal Campers.
Naked Cannibal Campers.
Yeah. It's basically it's adapted off of a B horror movie that is basically think of it like 70s or 80s retro grindhouse horror kind of thing.
Badass.
It's about these witches out in the woods and on the other side of the lake from where campgrounds are, and they like the taste of human flesh. So
no, not the
so add
human
those
flesh.
together. So yeah, it's a fun tongue in cheek, little bit humorous.
That sounds awesome. It sounds like almost like an 80s horror movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the movie was actually, it was pretty good for the budget they had for it. It was good, and I really liked the bits of humor they had in there, because there's like a warlock dude in there that fights against the witches.
That's awesome. Yeah, how awesome is that? So speaking of movies, I found a movie real quick. Hold on and I'll show it to you. Cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
Now we got Phil's campers. I'm excited about this, man.
Yeah. This is
Check
an alt
that
cover.
out.
He's running I think this is for a release at a comic shop
Yeah.
down in Florida where he's at, which is
That's awesome.
Rat. I'm trying to remember the name. Rat something Comics.
I already love it. Like Rat Fink. I love it.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of it. But
Absolutely.
so
Super
yeah,
cool,
so
man. Oh man. So like I mentioned earlier, guys, Phil is on with the listener, or not with the listener. Well, that too probably. But Greed, man, we're really excited to have him on Greed, and it's been a phenomenal experience to have him, editing and working on that and working with the team, because he's such a worldly individual, guys. Like, Phil is an incredible artist in his own right. He's been in this industry for a long time, and the music industry as well, guys. I mean, if anybody's gonna color or edit something really cool, it's definitely gonna be Phil.
oh, thanks, man.
Well, I mean, I only speak the truth, brother. It's like, when I was telling the guys while they were watching, it was like, the listener was an easy project because it was two people working on it. You know what I mean? But working on interiors, covers are a different animal altogether, but two people working on interiors. But then when you start getting you start getting further and further into this, and you're working with more than one story, you're working with, 10 different cover artists, 4 different interior artists, so on and so forth. It gets to the point where you definitely need somebody that can see your vision. And we've all talked about it. And my wife said too. You've got the talent. We can. You see the vision, and that's so powerful, man. It's an epic thing to see. I mentioned earlier that it was like our team can like reach into my head and literally pull shit out of my brain, and that's what it feels like with you guys, man. You guys are literally like, hey, look, this is cool, and I'm like, yeah, it's super dope. I hadn't even thought about that. This is better. It really is better. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of fun, and I feel like somebody said to me once that the listener was very metal, like it was just super metal, and that was an amazing compliment. But as metal as the listener is, I'm really thinking that people are going to enjoy Greed as well. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and
Manny and Dave are doing a great job on that.
Man, for sure. I feel like it's a very coming of age story for this character, and a very interesting concept that we're running with. I mean, and I'm excited to see what your idea for a cover is.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't get a chance to tell you yet, but are we allowed to talk anything
please,
to do with
by
the
all
covers?
means.
Well,
Yeah, man, let's do it.
I was just talking to Mr. Rich Parada earlier, and everything seems to be ready to be set in motion for that cover.
Badass, man.
Me and him are going to bang that one out when you guys are ready, man.
Well, hey, y'all let me know. I am 100% in. As she is in those shorts, I am in for this cover.
Those short shorts, those 70s short shorts.
Well, the Daisy Dukes, man, the Daisy Dukes. It definitely looks like a scene out of like a Jason movie, right? Like the campers are all doing their thing except for the head, all but the severed head. The campers are doing their thing, and he's gonna come up and shake their world up a little bit. But yeah, man, I was just talking about how excited I am that you guys are doing a cover, and that Frank is doing a cover, and Becky is doing a cover, and Giles doing a cover, and it's bananas the amount of talent that's coming out for this book, guys. Like, I can't even fathom. When you put out a cover, it's like for a book. And when I was younger, it was Zenoscope that was doing more covers than anybody, right? It was literally like, and they were all awesome. You know what I mean? They put out like 16 awesome covers at a time. And I'm exaggerating by just a little bit, but when we did the listener, I think we had 7 covers for the first book. And I remember thinking, is that enough? Is that too many?
Enough?
Is it not enough? And because that first book is nerve-wracking, right? It's bananas. So then we sat down, and it was like, for this one, it was like, I'm only going to do 4 is what I was going to do. And then all of a sudden it was just like, there's so much amazing talent out there that not just the people that you and I have talked to, but other people that have reached out and looked at. And I mean, the fact that we're going to have Anastasia and Antonio involved in covers, you know what I mean? Those guys do the Changeling, and the Changeling is beautiful, right? I mean, oh my gosh, what a cool book. So I guess I was on the show with them the other night, and they were like, we're going to throw down the gauntlet, and I was like, throw it down. They were like, we're going to do something on Greed, and I was like, do it. You know what I mean? Do it, by all means. So
show it to me.
Yeah, let's see it. Oh my gosh, speaking of let's see it, those pages that those guys dropped today were awesome.
I did not get a chance to see them yet.
Whoa.
What's going on? What you got going on?
Hold on. And you know what? We'll do this one live. We'll show one of the first pages done. Give me 1 second, and I'll pull it up real quick.
Cool.
What an epic. And I'm not going to pull up the inked piece. We'll just pull up a rough real quick so you guys can see it. Here we go. Share this, and this is one of the first. Wow, yeah, that's craziness, right? One of the first pieces that we've shown from Greed. So. Open it up.
Oh, I lost you for a minute.
Did it come back?
Yeah,
We're good?
I think it's my internet. It's been a little bit weird
Gotcha.
today. You know how
Gotcha.
it gets sometimes.
I
man.
do, for sure. So this is the Minotaur Demon. We're not going to tell you his name or anything, but it is the Minotaur Demon, and he happens to be throwing down with a particular character in this page. Really excited about the way that Manny put this page together. I mean, I love the overlay, right, of like the horns going up into the other panel and the ear dropping down, you know, and just so cool conceptually.
I always like Minotaurs, which means
right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hint. You might see a new Minotaur.
Yeah.
Soon.
Get him.
Actually,
get him.
I ran down the three main aspects of that cover that you're talking about, and everything is rolling according to plan.
That's awesome, man. I'm so stoked about everything going on with everything, man. From everybody's angles, the teams are killing stuff, you know, and then oh wow! So I just found out, guys, that Crit just busted a 40 backer goal. So we're really excited about that. And I just got sent this really cool image, and I'll show it to you guys real fast. How awesome! 40 backer goal for those guys.
Ooh, new image. All right. Always like
new image. Let's check it out.
Oh,
hold on. Let's check this one out. There you go, guys. Another stretch goal taken out. That's exciting for them.
Arg!
Right. So, you know, Crit is a fun story in itself, because those guys wrote that based on D&D sessions that they had.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it takes you back to where, you know, we've talked about stuff like this before, Phil, but, you know, like Dragonlance, that's where that came from. You know, those guys sitting around a table playing D&D. Right. And look at where that book is now. You know what I'm saying? What, 50 books in that series or some shit like that?
Yeah, they were playing 2E, man.
Right,
Not this 5 stuff.
None of this fancy shenanigans.
Not this fancy wimpy 5 stuff.
right. Second edition, man. And
I want 50 million. I want 50 million numbers tables laying out in front of me.
Right. Absolutely. And, you know, they came out with so many awesome, you know, stories and whatnot out of that. So I'm excited for these guys to see where they come, you know, because they're all natural. It evolves as you're playing it. So that's exciting.
Oh, dude, I have a link that I will have to send you over. The whole dice thing.
Yeah.
I just saw something where they have, they're like rechargeable, where you just set them on a pad, like, you know, some phones for the charging without the plug-in.
Right.
But they're dice, or they're your full set of dice, 20 side and everything, but all with LEDs inside that go off when you roll.
Amazing. That's so amazing.
I gotta show that to you. That is so cool. Yeah,
for sure, bro. That's super exciting. We sold like four sets of our dice, so I'm really excited.
The bone dice,
yeah, man.
That was a sweet set, man.
Right? Oh, you got one of those coming to you. Don't worry about it. I got you taken care of.
Oh no! Oh man!
I got you taken care of, dude. I made sure that I ordered enough when I ordered them to. Yeah, you're good. So, with that being said, we had we were talking about Road to Sin earlier, and you know, working on that and how that's different than working on a comic book, and how, you know, much more you have to do with that. You know what I mean? Than just write a campaign or write a story. You know, it was coming up with rules and how you dice rules and situations and armor and damage and all those fun things. So we're really killing it with that portion of things and putting it together. Next, we've got one map done, 2 maps done actually, and we're working on a couple more maps, and we're working on a couple interior art and cover art and all that jazz right now. But I think the biggest thing right now on everybody's mind coming out of, you know, my publishing company is Greed, though. You know, and to be fair, it's coming up real soon, man, and that's an exciting thing.
I have not seen pages fly past us like that, and
bro, right? Oh,
I think about every day there's new stuff, man.
I mean, it's like 1 to 2 pages a day these guys are killing, you know?
Oh yeah.
And it's just phenomenal, man, to watch, the talent that is putting this out. And speaking of talent and whatnot, Manny's been working on Mojo, and Mojo's beautiful.
Oh yeah, Mojo's awesome.
I mean, what a cool concept, and I think it lends to his credit, to the fact that he can do them so fast, because not to say that you ever want your artist to have to go back and change things, but he can do it in seconds. It's like it's
definitely.
like he thought about it before you did. You know what I mean? He's like, I need to change this before we even ask him to change something. He's like, yeah, I got that. You know what I mean? I'll handle that. So, and then, Acampo's colors are beautiful, and I'm excited. That wavy thing he did in the background for the spiritual realm is awesome.
Yeah, to give it that offset. Yeah, definitely.
Right,
that was cool. That
worked
perfect.
Right, you guys had that beautiful idea to add the blue hint to it. I really dig that, because it's very pleasing to the eye versus just the black and the white. Like when you look at it, it's very fresh, and I dig it. Man, oh man, look at that blue right there. I mean, that is, that blue right there.
Sure, you're focused on the blue. I know what
That's right. That's right. Look at that blue. That's fancy blue right there, man. Don't mess around. But
I don't use those cheap 4-bit color images, man.
I
don't scrimp on the pixels.
It's just interesting.
I'll throw down full price for the pixels, man.
Well, it's fun to see like the different types of coloring and the different types of art in general, to be able to see, what projects are going on in the behind the scenes, because a lot of folks don't get to see that. All they get is the final product. They don't get to see how much work is put on in, behind closed doors and whatnot, between the editing and the writing and the art itself. It's an interesting concept.
They do more on the art end now, just because of the wonders of the interwebs and everybody doing live casts. So I think they're a lot more tuned in than they used to be to the artists.
Absolutely.
And yeah, damn it, lost my train of thought.
You're
trying to chew bubble gum and walk at the same time, man.
Sure, I'm with you, bro. I'm like.
You know me, I'm still getting used to the working on stuff while I'm talking thing, man.
I love it though, man. You've come it's evolution for you. You know what I mean? Because you've been in front of so many people for so long that this is just another step in that direction.
I never expected to do the live thing, man, but working over at Crom, doing the co-hosting over there, and then jumping in on some other artist friends' streams and working, I'm getting used to it.
Hell yeah! Well, I've had buddies, man, that were literally like, I don't ever want to do live, right? They used to tell me, I don't ever want to do live.
Oh yeah, that's the way I was.
But yeah, not gonna do it. No, I don't feel like sketching in front of people and stuff. And you'd be like, all right. COVID comes around, everybody's like, hey, can I get live with you? I need to up my fan base.
Yeah, everybody got busy, and they found out that isolated comic life. People don't forget that too. We give up a lot on the social end to be able to do this stuff, man.
Right.
Believe me, there is the labor of love when it comes to it, man, because you got to have a passion for it. It takes a lot of time. I mean, especially if you're doing it as a freelancer. And that's why I was saying with the live streaming is almost a must for that, now.
Sure.
Because, I was doing stuff and, rolling with gigs and stuff here and there, but, like usual. But when I started doing the live stuff, man, it's just basically getting yourself out there, because people don't know what you're doing. So the more you get yourself out there, the more people go, oh, yeah, that dude's stuff, or hey, maybe work with them on a book or a cover.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. So
Man,
visibility as a freelance artist is so important, man.
Oh, it's integral, right? I remember when we had talked before, and it was a few months ago, and it was like, oh, when are you going to do this? And Greed was like supposed to be like 3 more months down the road. And when I saw that things were happening and things were moving with the listener, it was like, okay, well, I can move into this. But I wouldn't have known who to reach out to or who to work with if it wasn't for live, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, you know, because there are guys, you can go in this industry and be like, hey, I want to get, you know, these bajillion-dollar artists that have been in Marvel for 40 years and wherever else. I want those guys. And then they're like, yeah, well, we want like $30,000 a book, you know what I mean? And you're just like, oh, well, maybe I don't need those guys that much. You know? Who's the newest badass that's up and
You're
coming?
like, we're talking the indie world here, guys. We don't have Marvel and DC money, man.
Exactly. You know, and it was like, you know, find the coolest cats. And we put together, and not just by ourselves, but with you bringing in the, you know, buddies of yours and guys that Kevin knows, and you know, we've brought some amazing talent together, and getting to show people these guys that are super talented, that are just becoming guys that show their stuff online too.
Right,
you know,
right.
These are not guys that have been using the internet forever to show their stuff. They're starting to. You know, other than like Goon Tunes, which is amazing. You know, we were talking about them.
Prank stuff, yeah.
Yeah, man. Goon Tunes is great. Like, if I'm like writing, I can turn on Goon Tunes and just sit and laugh the whole time I'm writing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, it's a fun experience. It's a fun thing to be able to do. You know, there's all kinds of fun things now that help us as creators, you know, do what we do. I wouldn't exist without Spotify right now. I think that'd be, you know, taking Spotify away from me would probably end my world. But, you know, it's having a podcast and being able to talk to artists and stuff. It fuels not only my own creativity, but I think it also fuels their creativity. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, you're getting to talk to people and stuff. And with you, I'm so like, will always be like, Phil, do whatever you want for a cover, or even interior on the book. It's like you read my mind, so I'm like, okay, it's like I was okay with it before you asked me if I was okay with it, type of deal. You know what I mean? So it works like that, man. And to any aspiring team or any aspiring writer, that is such an integral piece of information.
When everybody's on the same page, it rolls much smoother, man.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's literally like, it's like the difference between drinking like a really well-made shake and drinking cement. You know? Like, one goes down real smooth and the other one doesn't.
One's the difference between McDonald's shake and Steak and Shake.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
One is a blend of something, you're not sure what, and the other, you know, is just good ice cream goodness, you know.
Right. What do you put in this again? Oh, we don't know. Oh, should I imbibe that? You know? Is that something that should be in my body? I don't quite think so, madam. I refuse your shake. Well, sir, you don't have to take it. I refuse it. So we've got this cool idea to work with Frank. Yeah, 40 guys. I'm really excited to see the cover that he comes up with. And, you know, we've also, like I mentioned, we've got Guile that we've talked to about doing a cover. He's really excited to do one too. There's so much talent, man. There's literally so much talent. And it's almost too much for one book, right? Like it's bananas how much talent is on here. And the cool thing about it is these guys are all talent because they're talents in their own right. It's not like they worked with somebody to get that talent, or they're showing up for, you know, with a group of people to be noticed. These are all really, really talented people on their own. So it's like the super team. Like it's crazy. You know, like Gabrielle.
It's like the super group, man.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit from Soundgarden, a little bit from, you know.
Right, absolutely. You know, we like Gabriella. You know, she's been tattooing me for years, and to have her do comic book covers for the listener and for Greed, and to have her work on, you know, the journal that we've got coming out. I mean, holy cow. She is somebody that people don't know because she's a tattoo artist and she's very in her own secretive world that's incredible, right? So now that she's being noticed and stuff, her covers sell like nobody's business, and it's beautiful to see. I mean, same thing with like there are a couple other people that have, you know, come up with the listener, like Eric, you know, Viola. He was not a comic book artist, and now all of a sudden it's like, you know, people are contacting him for stuff and seeing his work and loving his work, and it's phenomenal, man. I couldn't ask for a better a group of people to go, hey, look, they're awesome. You know, I mean, Marissa is shooting up in popularity, you know, and that's incredible, man. It's, you know, Becky Fuller is coming on with us and has awesome, awesome stuff. You know, there's just this wide range of talent, and look at ES. ES does amazing lettering, and this is talent from like all over the world. It's not like it's the majority of our team spoke Spanish before they spoke English. You know, they're all over the place, and it's just not just one dialect of Spanish. It's several different dialects, and it's an amazing concept. You know, look at Gwen. Gwen's first language is French. You know, and it's like I said, it's a team from all over the world, man. And I have three of the best colorists. I don't care what anybody says that are in this business. I mean, between you, Gwen, and David, I have cornered the market in amazing colorists.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, they do a good job, man. They do.
I don't even give a shit. I'll go to bat any day. I mean, our teams are just incredible, man, and we're thankful that they're so, you know, into the stories. We're thankful that they're so, you know, dedicated to the teams and each other. You know, everybody that we work with hypes each other up, and that's integral. You know, you can't. I mean, you know, I know it's cliche to be like, there's no I in team, but there's not. You know, there's really not. Yeah. You know, we are greater than the sum of our parts. You know, so. But yeah, so we're about to hit an hour and 30 minutes, guys. I'm gonna throw in one more ad, and that's my own. So check out this video real quick.
Roll that. Oh yeah,
love it. I mean, how cool is it that, you know, ES and those guys can make those awesome like motion cartoons now? You know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, you remember like when I was in college and I was getting my engineering degree, and we would do stuff in like Lightwave and Video Toaster and whatnot. It took us.
Oh wow. To video, I haven't heard both of those for a while, man.
Right? So that's
Lightwave before Video Toaster. Oh man, that was like Amiga days and stuff.
Right. And well, that's what I got my engineering degree with. It was Lightwave and Video Toaster, man. And you know, it would take us hours on a single machine to render things like that.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I wanted a Video Toaster so bad back in the day. I was pretty hyped about video production,
right,
in my younger years, and Video Toaster was the next best thing since sliced bread, because pretty much wasn't it the first it was the first non-linear editing. Yes, right,
absolutely. And
non-linear editing was, you know, that was a game changer, man, when
absolutely.
It came to editing.
Well, I mean, Lightwave was insane, you know, and
for rendering stuff, 3D, especially hard surface 3D stuff, man, like spaceships and stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh man,
well,
it was awesome.
I went from Lightwave. Well, I first went from what was that we were using? oh my gosh, now I can't even remember what it was called. But before I was in college, I was using a program. And then when I got to college, it was Lightwave and Video Toaster. And then when I got out, it was Maya.
Maya, yeah.
I quit using Maya a few years ago, but that was what I was working with last. And it just blew my mind. Going from X and Y to having, Z was always such a phenomenal thing to me.
Oh yeah, I always like ZBrush. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
modeling in ZBrush. ZBrush, man, is like, if you can get a hang for its tools, man, it's like working in a piece of digital clay, literally. Man.
Absolutely. Well, see, my issue is like I broke my hand twice. Like my right hand in the same. I've got boxer's fractures twice in the same hand. 3 times actually. Sorry, 3 times in the same hand. And like my pinky and my ring finger don't work like they're supposed to. So they work to a degree, but not as well as I would like them to. But there's like trying to use hotkeys and stuff with them is ridiculous. Um, But anyway, guys, like I said, we're at that hour and 30-minute mark. We really appreciate you hanging out with us. Phil, thanks, man. You're a lifesaver, brother.
Hey, no problem. Always
and-
fun.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And once again, this is brought to you guys by Ink. Thank you, man. Comicradery, we have a lot of fun. We melded the listener podcast into this show tonight because my co-host partner in crime was out dealing with nuclear fusion and whatnot. So, it was a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. A lot of fun hanging out with, Phil and hanging out with Darren and, talking about the Rogue and everything he's got going on and looking at Phil's amazingly colored tops. You know what I mean? That was a blast as well. And talking about all our cool sponsors and everything going on in the world of the listener. It's just an awesome time, guys. It's phenomenal. Thank you so much. And please don't forget, somebody's always listening. And nowadays, when they're listening, they're real greedy. Have a good one, guys.
Good night.